So you want to produce music full time? Part 3.
How did I turn music into a full-time career? Basically, I have a YouTube channel, which I make money from views. Like, you get paid in ad revenue. Really not that much money, though. Where I make most of my money is actually my sound kits. And I noticed that because people like the kits, they ended up just pretty much like buying most of the ones that I end up making. So you kind of get repeat customers through there. And yeah, that's my primary way that I make most of my money. In addition to that, also get some advertisements from different brands. With that, I just avoid working with brands that I wouldn't actually use because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people will just kind of work with whoever. And when they do that, at least to me, it makes them seem like they're just doing stuff for money all the time versus providing like value and being like, hey, I am getting paid for this, but this is actually good and I actually like using it. Right now, though, I'm kind of trying to switch into like live streaming, I guess streaming from music eventually. Got to drop some more songs, which I'm going to be doing. In addition to that, I don't know, I just kind of want to create a community for musicians, producers, etc., where they can kind of showcase their music and hopefully reach a larger audience, like through either coming on my live streams or a video on my channel, etc. So that's kind of the shift that I'm looking into.
Worked really, really freaking hard for a long time and just saved up my money. You know, I didn't go out. I didn't spend money. I didn't do stuff to put myself in a situation where I would have to quit music. You know, like if I had inadvertently or intentionally gotten someone pregnant or gotten engaged, you know, all of these things that would have required me to have more time and money than I did have pursuing music as a career, I just avoided. I'm not saying that's great. It's just that's what I did.
Yeah, so I basically made producing my full-time career through growing my type beat channel. Pretty much at the end of the day, that's where it all stems from. I have like almost 10,000 subscribers on it, and that was my main hustle for a few years, growing that channel, selling beats through it. And that led to every other opportunity that I have going on right now. Posting type beats led to my manager finding me and reaching out and eventually working with me and, you know, getting opportunities for me and doing the things that we've been doing. It led to me connecting with literally every like bigger artist and bigger producer I know. Like one way or the other probably came from like my type beat channel or the fact that like I was like a bigger producer because I had like a presence and a platform. What has been your proudest moment in your music career so far? Hasn't happened yet. I'm still working for that. Right now, the coolest thing that has happened to me so far is getting to collab on a beat with the guitarist of my favorite band from when I was growing up, which is Good Charlotte. I worked with Billy on Good Charlotte on a beat, and that was like the sickest thing ever.
There have been a lot of proud moments. Like buying a house was a proud moment for me because it showed me I'm still, this is gonna sound stupid, but it was like, look, I can still do regular people shit. You know, all the people that have jobs and you know, looked at me like I was crazy because I quit all my jobs to pursue music and it was never going to work. Now I have a house. Just stuff, you know, superficial stuff like that. I'll grant you that it's totally superficial, but it does feel validating just because I exist in such a weird space as a career musician that something normal, like, you know, putting a down payment down on a house it makes me feel less alien. It makes me feel like I'm really, you know, existing in the real world. There are a lot of proud moments. Just, you know, seeing the people that I introduced memory to get placements, get plaques. It was a proud moment for me when I saw him buy a car off of his music revenue, which had nothing to do with me. All I did was introduce him to a few people, so that meant a lot to me.
So I can think of 2 moments. The first was when I had been spending literally like months every day just sitting on the computer for hours trying to figure out how to make a good sounding beat, and I felt like I finally made one, and I showed it to my girl and she was like, oh wow, this is actually good. And at that moment I was just like, this is what I want to do, like 100% certain I want to be able to have that effect on someone. And so that'd be the first, as that's kind of what started like really all of this, aside from when I was younger listening to music. But I don't know, that was like one of the first like reassuring moments where I was like, okay, I might have something here. The second and a bit more recent was when I dropped my first song, Distortion.
Where do you see your career going? Where do you want to take your career? I have more financial goals, but it's not really about the material wealth. It's more about the freedom that comes with amassing material wealth. So I kind of keep that stuff private, but I've learned to kind of detach from outcomes. You know, I don't know where my career is going in a literal sense, But in a general sense, I can say, well, progress. I just, I want to continue making good music. I have short-term goals, long-term goals. The short-term plans include albums with this person, like stuff I'm not going to say because it hasn't been announced, but I guess the Ted Park album, but stuff like that. And I want to continue growing that, doing more albums exclusively with an artist, that type of thing.
Obviously would love to be a full-time producer for the rest of my life, but I'm not only limiting myself to that, like music is just kind of the vehicle that I use to express myself and to connect with artists and producers around the world, and, to be able to basically create and live the life that I want to create. As long as I get to just keep doing that and have the freedom to do what I want, like I kind of do now, I'll be happy. So I'll continue to be doing things that make that possible and generate even more revenue to, open up even more possibilities to do cool things, like my major focus right now isn't on selling beats and stuff like that. It's on growing my brand and making videos and being able to grow as a producer in that way.
First goal in terms of like YouTube related stuff is, one, I want to get my second channel going, Dylan TV, which is like following the journey as I try to make it as a musician. And ideally, I would like to just show the full process, and it, works out, of course. On my main channel, my goal there is to kind of get a lot of the audience involved in the videos. But yeah, I want to try to get as many people as involved in videos as possible, just because it's fun, and hopefully I know I can shine a light on some other like talented artists and producers and whatnot. In terms of music, I guess one of my goals, and this is kind of a weird one, is to perform at Coachella, because I feel like if you are able to do that, as lame as it sounds, I think you've made it.
How do I approach networking within the music industry? Networking in the music industry is an interesting thing because I feel like people have one idea of it and the reality of it is completely different, people think networking is like fucking being those annoying guys handing out your business cards to everybody and doing shit like that. But in reality, networking is just building genuine relationships with other people in the field doing things like you and just maintaining those relationships. Like, it's really nothing more.
I like to network with people, but not everybody. And I also, when I first started making beats, I felt like anyone and everybody should work with me, just because I make music. Why wouldn't you want to work with me? And now I see it's because, when you don't have anything to offer, you don't have exceptional talent, you don't have immense resources, you don't have any sort of unique angle to bring to the table, people aren't really going to take a chance on you. So, and if they do, you should really appreciate that. So nowadays, given that I've grown that perspective, I don't look at networking as a situation where I'm going to have 100% success rate. I'm not going to, talk to someone who I'd like to work with and expect them to want to work with me back. And even if they do want to work with me back, you never know. The timing could be wrong, and maybe we link up again in 3 years and something works out. But right now, it's not going to work out. It's not meant to work out.
If I had to estimate how much do I earn a month from music, that varies greatly, a lot, especially nowadays. But when I was going hard with type beats and that was my main thing, the music money varied, especially in the beginning, it was little to nothing, like very inconsistent sales. But when I got to the point where I was making sales consistently and, I was comfortable as a full-time producer, I was making anywhere from, like a couple thousand to a few thousand a month plus, Do
you have any advice regarding your music career? As someone that's, still trying to make it, of course, there's a few things that I've learned on this journey so far that I think are really important. And one is to not overthink everything, because I've wasted so much time doing that, and I'm trying to not do it as much. And then in addition to that, just think about 30 years down the road. Will you be happy that you didn't go for it, or you, decided to go out on the weekends, or were too scared, or, whatever it might be? Like, will you be happy that you give it everything you had? So
I need advice for my career, so give me some of that. Actually, Riley, when we talked the last time, you did give me advice. So
if there's one piece of advice I can share, you just always have to remember that it comes back down to the music, like we are music producers. We're in the business of making music and selling beats to be used in music. And I think a lot of the times when I lost track of that, when I was like deep in a burnout or, you know, like dealing with some super bad mental health shit or whatever, I lost track of the music and the art, which was the reason that I wanted to become a producer in the first place, you know? It's the whole reason I make music, because I love music. I love this stuff. I love the creative process. I love doing this shit. And that's why I wanted to always do it and, you know, try to make a living from it. So I think it's easy, especially when you're trying to pursue this full time and make money off of your passion, which feels weird at first. It's really easy to lose track of the music, you know, and the reason why you got into this stuff to begin with, and just fall out of love with that. So just always keep that in the back of your mind. Keep the music, keep your love for music fresh, and always keep that spark going, and everything else will come. That's literally it. I can't tell you anything else.
Thank you all for watching. I had a lot of fun making this series and I learned a lot along the way. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like more series like this. And if you want to rewatch this series from start to finish, I made a playlist that you can check out right over there. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to get notified whenever I release a new video, which happens twice a week.